Good morning. You are listening to Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Our show is sponsored by our friends Abels and Hyman. We taste better. For those of you who don't know me, I am Naomi Nachman. I'm about all the food all the time. I love food. I love to shop for it, cook it, eat at restaurants, anything food related. I'm a kosher personal chef. My business is called the Aussie Gourmet. I give cooking classes. I cater for people for Shabbat, Yom Tov, Shavuos. A big shout out for Shavuos. My menus are up online, theaussiegourmet.com. I just had to give that a bit of a shout out. So I cater for people for Shavuot, for Yom Tov, Shabbat. Anytime you don't feel like cooking, give me a call. I hope that you will tune in every week and hear about my cooking adventures, my kosher food traveling, and sharing of great food ideas and, of course, recipes each week. But I want to hear about your experiences too, so feel free to email me at naomi@nachumsegal.com. You can join my fan page on the Aussie Gourmet on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My handles are Naomi Nachman. And you can join my newsletter on my website, theaussiegourmet.com. In the bottom right-hand corner is sign up for my newsletter, and I only send out one email a week, so I won't inundate you. I want this to be a conversation, so if you've eaten somewhere or made something, let me know. Share it with me. What restaurant you ate at, what you ate at that restaurant. I love to eat out, so let me know where I should be going next. I just want to give a big shout out to Bagels & Co. in Fresh Meadow, Queens. We went there for Mother's Day. Had a really hard time getting into the restaurants there. It was packed. Thank God it was a gorgeous day and everyone was out and about. So we went there. We had great food. We had some salads and some bagels. Customer service, they were also lovely. So I just wanted to give them a big shout out. We've got a great show today right here in the Nachum Segal studio on the Lower East Side. I have with me in the studio Ariella Valensky. Ariella Valensky is a SKA student out in the Five Towns. She is doing a 12th grade work study program. I think that's what they call it, the work study program. And girls from the grade have to find for about 3-4 weeks a place to learn and work from, something, a career profession that they're interested in. So hi, Ariella.
Hi, how are you today?
Good, thank you. I'm so glad that you came in with me today.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying so far. I can't wait for the show to come.
Yeah, so we've got a great show here today. So Ariella, so you must be very interested in cooking to come work for me.
Yeah, I love the food, so I want to learn new recipes so I could be a balabasta.
Oh, that's so cute. I know, right? I didn't know how to so much cook when I was in 12th grade, but I think by the time I got married,
You learn, yeah.
I learned as I went along. It's one of those things, it's a little bit trial by fire. Where have other girls gone in your grade?
So some girls have gone to work for lawyers, doctors, dental assistants, yes. And some lucky girls got a special opportunity to go to Berlin as a Kiruv program to go to the Midrash or something.
Midrashah,
yeah. I don't remember, and are doing really special things. So
that's really nice.
Shout out to them.
It's very nice that people find a career path that they can dabble in a little bit, see if it's really for them. So it's a great program. I've had some SKA interns over the last few years, so it's really exciting. I think you're one of the first to come in with me. So into the studio.
I feel special.
You should. We're going to have a great time. So thank you, Ariella. In the studio, I've got Brent, Delman, and Jay Buchsbaum for a wine and cheese pairing. Stay tuned. Our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. We taste better. All right. So I'd like to welcome both. I've got Jay and Brent here. Have we got them in? Okay, so everything's rolling great. So I've got sitting next to me on my immediate left is Jay Buchsbaum, as we said, Marketing Director of Royal Wines, and I've got Brent Delman. I think this is maybe our 4th show together at least. So bring your microphone over and we'll be able to... Can you...
I'm here. Great,
okay, great.
Great to be back, Naomi. Thanks for having us.
Okay, my pleasure. It's a spring season. I see our last show was in December, I think, right after Hanukkah. So I figured now we've got Shavuos coming up. We must have a cheese show. So
we got 3 days to Shavuos or something?
No, not so long.
Monday night.
No, it's 3 days.
Yeah. Monday night is the
Monday night.
Erev.
Today's Friday, so it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, it's 3 days.
Right, but it's Right, we've got about a week and a half.
Oh, I'm confused. I'm a week behind.
You're a week behind.
Right.
I think someone forgot to count Sphera last night.
Oh, no. You know what? Please. What was... Yeah, I got to do that, right? We're a week behind.
Yeah, you're a week behind, yeah.
Okay.
But the funniest thing, I talk about Sphera. I have this app on my iPhone. You know, I'm a big... there's my jet lag kicking in because I'm at a loss for words. Word retrieval is very hard when you're very jet lagged. I've had this crazy schedule since I've come back.
You're a techie, are you?
Yeah. So I love apps. Like I love what they can do. The davening apps and the kosher restaurant apps. And now, of course, the Sphera app. I'm using this amazing app on Sphera, written by a former student of mine, Moshe Berman, who lives right here on the Lower East Side in the studio, and he has this amazing Sphera app, and I haven't missed a day, even going to Australia and jumping the date line. I spoke to the rabbi.
It did it for you? It actually jumped the date line and all that stuff?
Well, when I got there, I had to reset the location, but it was very cool. So, you know, I know we're in the middle of Sphera, you're not going to maybe download it now, but for next year, or you can even download it now. And continue it. It's and it sends you a reminder. You can set it to whatever time you want. So I haven't forgotten to say.
It's pretty amazing as you're davening and you see, today's the 18th day.
Right. Or some of the Siddurim apps
have it automatically.
Have Yale V'Yavo come up as needed. So yeah, even though we're a food show, we're still about being frum and kosher and the whole package. So. Welcome to both of you for coming on. Let's just have a quick catch up with Brent, because it's been a while since you were on the show. How was your winter, right? It was long.
Winter, yeah, it's been great. I've been riding a real wonderful roller coaster ride since then. We've had many more ups, thank God, than downs. But it's been terrific. Riding the wave, I guess is a better way to put it. So there were a couple of real nice write-ups. There was one in the New York Times. I don't know if some of you have seen that. But that...
You can go to his website and read it online now.
Yeah. And then Westchester Magazine this month has a nice article called "Not Your Bubby's Cheese."
Yeah, cute.
And I think Mishpacha Magazine and Jewish Week and some others. This is one of our holidays, the people in the cheese world. So coming up, Shavuos, it's a great time of the year, and people are coming to me and asking some relevant holiday questions, and I'm very happy to answer them. So we're having a lot of fun.
Okay, great. We love the cheese. I happen to be a big cheese fan and milchiks fan. My whole family loves milchiks, but it's great this time of the year to have. I think that's what we did. Our first show together was around Shavuos time last year.
I have to tell you, people think that I come to this show with Brent because of the wine. Not true.
It's the cheese,
man. It's the cheese. I'm crazy about cheese.
And I have learned.
And he's got amazing today. Oh my gosh!
I know, we can't wait.
Let's not eat it all because I want to take the rest of it home.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's see how that works. But it's I've learned so much from Brent about cheeses, and I've shared this with my kids and of course my listeners. And I bought a whole stack of Brent's cheeses. Went to a Pesach hotel, Pesach in Lake George. It was fantastic. You heard me promote it up to Wazoo right before Pesach. But we did a wine and cheese pairing, and everyone went crazy. People were buying the leftover cheeses that we didn't get through, and they went nuts over it. So it's really nice to see. And a lot of people were balei tshuva, so they hadn't had like cheese on that level since they became frum, and they were like so happy that they could have excellent quality.
That's great. Yeah. That's in fact a lot of the most amazing feedback that I get. Emails constantly from balei tshuvas that say that for years they've been missing this kind of cuisine, this kind of cheese, and so that's great.
Yeah, no,
they appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
I got to tell you, Brent, that one of the things I get most often on this subject is, I could become frum, I could take off Shabbos, it sounds great, I could even eat kosher, but I can't give up my kosher wine.
Oh, right.
And then I hit them with some of this stuff, like you do with the cheese, and they go, holy cannoli. Yeah. I mean, they really, there really is no reason, whether it's the cheese or the wine, that you have to compromise anymore.
The bar has been raised by I think the quality of work that Royal does and what you do, Brent. The name of your business is called The Cheese Guy, so I don't know if I had mentioned that, but I just want to keep throwing that out there. You can go to Brent's website, thecheeseguy.com, and follow him on Facebook and Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
The Cheese Guy.
The Cheese Guy. Yeah, okay, great. So Instagram, are we on Instagram? We haven't gotten
I
that
am,
far yet.
as well, the cheese guy there.
Okay, great. So
Yeah,
everyone
and,
can start following.
Facebook is Brent, the cheese guy.
Brent, the cheese
Yeah,
guy. Okay, so everyone should start following along because you'll continue to educate us between our segments every couple of months. So, we did one in the winter. Now we're going to learn all about spring and summer cheeses. So stay tuned for a great show. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. Our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. We taste better. Okay, so I guess it's the opposite now. The show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. We're going to eat some cheese now. You just can't eat these together. Okay, how are you, Jay?
I'm
On to
good.
you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, well, it's been a couple
Welcome home.
Thank you. It's been a couple of weeks since we did our Pesach show where we had people writing questions. It was really cute that people kept emailing us after the show with questions, and I
Yeah.
forwarded them on to you.
That's right. And we answered a bunch of them.
Yeah, so that was very nice. So
And
you can keep
now
the
that we
questions.
still got 10 days till Shavuos,
Yeah,
we've got time to buy a lot of these wines.
yeah. So people can really grab pen and paper, or you can just go back to the archives.
Right.
I did the show last week from Australia, and someone emailed me after the show. Zika, I thought this was really funny that they had to listen to the show again because we gave out so much information. They needed to listen to it again to make notes of what I was saying. I thought that was really cute. Someone from Muncie, so I thought that was very sweet that they busy writing notes. So, all right, let's get started. I'm going to let maybe Brent start, because he's going to cut up some cheese and talk to us about the cheese season of what's coming up, and then Jay will come in with a wine. So, Brent, what have we got? Let's talk about...
I'm glad you didn't say I'm going to cut the cheese.
I just learned what that meant recently. That's an American expression. So just talk to us briefly. What is a summer cheese as opposed to a winter cheese?
Okay, yeah, good. We have a packed show today here with between the three of us. We've got a lot of seasonal recipes and dishes and pairings, the wine pairings, some food pairings, so a lot of good stuff. But spring and summer, people tend to eat lighter, right? So they very often associate sheep and goat cheeses with the summertime and warmer weathers. So crumbling goat and sheep cheeses over salads is typical. People think about shedding their winter clothes and being a little bit more conscious of their weight.
The winter weight, right.
Right. So they look for lighter, creamier, softer cheeses, fresher cheeses. So I guess why don't we get started right into the first one?
Let's go, baby.
Okay.
Fresh mozzarella.
Can I ask you,
yes,
what's the
please.
taste difference between a summer and a winter cheese? Is there much of a taste difference?
Sure, yeah, they're lighter. They're a lot lighter, creamier, softer, fresher.
Okay.
But it also most of the animals that we deal with, the cows, sheep, and goats, they're lactating in the springtime. So they are giving birth, and their babies are consuming the milk, and thus we are consuming their milk and turning it into cheese. So it's this time of the year. If you want good fresh cheese, traditionally around the world, people eat fresh goat cheese at this time of the year because you can eat it almost right off the farm. But a lot of other cheeses that we consume later in the year have been aged. They take the milk from this time of the year. They produce most of the cheese at this time of the year, and then the cheese is aged out. So you get the more mature cheeses later in the year, which are going to be harder, firmer, a little bit sharper, nuttier, saltier. Those are some of the characteristics of the cheeses that come around later in the season. But the cheeses, like I say, that are sort of typical to this time of the year are going to be softer, a little bit milder. So, that's...
Good. All right. So let's try this. Are we going to try...
Please.
We got some spoons, and we even have plates, right? Thank you, Miriam Wallach, for stocking the studio. Can I have a spoon and a plate? Ariella, maybe you can pass me one. Thank you so much. Okay, now we have here, Ariella. We have here. Okay, we have everything well stocked. Yeah. Thanks again, Miriam. Okay, so what am I eating here now?
This is fresh mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
It's a cow milk cheese.
I'm going to hold this up. Do you have a package? I can actually, because we've got the webcam on. Is it on? Is it okay with getting
that
it?
one we don't. I think we threw that out. We cut it up.
Okay. So it doesn't look like typical mozzarella, because to me mozzarella is like a hard block of yellow cheese. This is called a fresh mozzarella.
Exactly.
No?
Fresh.
Jay's giving me...
It can be
Mozzarella can be yellow?
It can be a little bit
white, isn't it?
like an off-white color.
Right, but with a yellow hue.
Right, right. And, in fact, that brings on to another interesting topic. Well, why don't you
Okay.
Go for it.
All right,
see you
Jay
guys
and I both can't eat at the same time. Okay, you talk, and then I'll... Okay.
So, the color also has a seasonal quality to it, a seasonal characteristic to it. If cows and animals mainly cows are grazing in the grass that is widely available here in North America in the spring and summertime, the cheese and the milk comes out a little bit more yellow, a little darker color.
Okay.
The question that you're asking, it has something to do with the seasonality of it, and other countries, like I'm going to have some cheeses coming up here in a minute that are darker, have a more yellower color and more almost orange color and brown, and that is because of the beta carotene that is in the grass that they're consuming.
That is so cool. That affects the cheese color.
Sure, absolutely,
The grass.
absolutely. So, but the kind of harder mozzarella cheese that you're talking about, that's a low moisture mozzarella. That's a whole different thing. That's the kind of cheese that we put on pizza.
Okay, you see that? Like
right.
mozzarella's on pizza, that's yellow cheese.
Right. It's somewhere between like an off-white or a light yellow color ordinarily, but that's grated, put on pizza. But this kind of cheese is fresh mozzarella. This actually comes from upstate New York, and it is to be consumed within a couple of weeks of production. And this was made just a couple of weeks ago.
Delicious.
Typical for your caprese salads. You slice it up in the summertime, top it with olive oil, a good extra virgin olive oil, fresh basil, and a fresh tomato. Or you can eat it straight as it is.
A little kosher salt.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, yum.
Yeah.
Okay,
So this
great.
is a good starter.
And that would make a great salad for Shavuot.
Right.
So you make slices of tomatoes and slices of cheese and
Right.
kind of alternate them on a platter. It's absolutely
So
delicious.
it's like I said, good starter, mild, creamy, soft type of cheese. Jay, any thoughts on where we go with this?
First of all, I want to comment on something that was very insightful for me that you said about how the color of the cheese is affected by the grazing of the type of grass that the cows or the animals, goats, whatever, eat. It's so interesting that winemakers always say this, that what they want their wine to exhibit is the terroir. What the grapes grow in is what ultimately they'd like the wine to most exhibit. So very often you'll find, and it comes from the grape skins too.
Right.
So very often a darker wine will come only because the grape skins that you get the extract of the pigment from are darker. And in fact, the gravelly taste or the pine nut flavors or some of the vegetal characters that you'll get from some wines come because and through the grapes that grow in those areas grow those kind of grapes that actually extract that from the soil. So it's very similar to cheese in that respect, only in your case it goes through the animal first. In this case it goes through the grapevine first and then the winemaker makes it. I think it's important also on the same subject, segueing from the idea of lighter wine, of lighter cheeses, and watching your weight. I don't know about watching your weight so much, but lighter wines. I am, I'm on the soapbox about drinking white wines.
Yay.
I'm always talking about
Jay
drinking
and I
white
both
wine.
love white.
So this is a great time of year to consider that more. It's warmer, so you'll drink your wine colder. And white wines lend themselves to that. I've even brought a couple of reds that lend themselves to be cooled, namely the Jeunesse, and also, generally speaking, lighter wines. You don't want a heavy red wine to go with some of the lighter fare that you're going to be that you're going to be eating during this time of year, especially on Shavuos.
Well, that was delicious. What wine would you recommend for that?
So there's a brand new wine. Well, first of all, I brought the Baron Herzog Chenin Blanc, which is one of the
winner, right?
This is one of the most award-winning wines, literally in the world.
Yay.
Not award-winning kosher wines, just the most award-winning wine in the world. We just got a big award from the Wine Enthusiast. But I brought a brand new, well, it's only about a year old, a brand new white Riesling from Baron Herzog. And, unlike the late harvest Riesling, which is extremely sweet and late harvest and concentrated fruit and almost luscious, this wine is lighter, fruitier, and just off dry. So
That's
it
nice.
really will go with a whole series of creamy dishes that you would get that have some of that sweet cream feel that you get from some of the creamy dishes that you'll be making on Shavuos, in a little while.
Yeah, I have not. I
So
have
this
not
new
seen
white
that.
ring is brand new. And then I've brought, we can go on, but
Right.
then I've brought also a really thick, rich, although completely dry, and this is really one of my favorite wines. I've spoken about this before, the Russian River Chardonnay.
We have to open that one. I
So
think.
we're gonna open. We're not gonna be able to open all of them,
I
but
know, because we'll have to roll home.
so those are some of the things.
Right.
And then
I'll let you pick. what we're drinking.
and we also got a Jeunesse pink Moscato.
Jeunesse is so popular. My friends in Australia were all drinking all these different Jeunesse wines.
The people out there that really like something that's off dry, that's a little bit sweet. This is great, and it's brand new
Is
too. And
off dry a term of art in the wine industry?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you heard of
As a
dry
matter of fact,
and
last
semi-dry and sweet, but I've never heard of off dry.
I have to mention this. I was on Nachum the other week, Friday morning, just for a drop because it was National Moscato Day.
How did I miss
It's not
that
National
one?
Jewish Moscato Day. It was just National Moscato
Well,
Day.
I only thought Moscato was Jewish until
And somehow we got into
Years
this
ago.
thing about what comes from Mexico, a certain liqueur that comes from Mexico, and I didn't know the name at that point. I cannot tell you how many hundreds, if not thousands, of people said, "Come on, Jay, you didn't know it was Kahlua? Kahlua used to be on Nashkacha, and now
Yeah.
it doesn't seem to be." So I just want to straighten that out. Now I know. Okay. So there you go.
Okay.
But those are some of the wines that we brought. Go ahead.
Jay, let me ask you, having to do with the next cheese that I'm going to introduce. Do these? How is the acidity level in some of these white wines? Is it sort of has some of the terms that I often hear? It has almost a zippy acidity. Does that describe some of these wines?
Yes,
the
especially the Chenin Blanc.
and the Riesling. Or
The Chenin Blanc and the Riesling. We call this, and you appreciate this too, because we've spoken about this, you and I, a lot. We call this balance. You can have a wine that's very sweet, but if it doesn't have, a lively acidity to stand up to just the sugariness of it, then it'll just taste sugary. It won't have the great balance. So Herzog, and that's a lot of the wines that we have today, even with the orange muscat, which is Nachum's favorite.
Nachum
these days.
spoke to me
But
about
even,
that.
Even with the orange muscat, we have that lively orange, fresh acidity that is on the back drop of that sweetness. So there is good acidity here. It's not overwhelming. It's in balance with the sweetness. And so, you got that here too.
Great.
Okay,
Are
Brent,
we
let's move
opening
on.
one of
Yeah,
them to,
you know what, guys? We're already like 24 minutes into this, and we've only done one cheese, so we gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
we
so-
keep talking and sharing information, but we gotta, we
I'm
gotta
gonna-
eat here.
Okay. Good.
Okay,
So,
what
I'm
if
going to
we-
open up the new white Riesling.
Okay,
How's
you
that?
do the what? Yeah, let's try that one. And why
that's
get
a,
Brent?
and that's a perfect pairing and a good segue for the next cheese, which is a fresh goat cheese. As I was mentioning, a lot of people associate springtime with goat
Obsessed.
and sheep. Okay, so this this goat cheese, I've got a couple of cheeses on this particular plate, but it's the creamy white one
Ooh.
that we're going to be indulging in just a second. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll,
All right,
do
so
that.
I'm the
take
one
a
in the
look at
middle.
that.
Okay, so I'm.
If I take it with my hand, you think they'll hit me on the air?
I might have to whack you one. No, just joking. All right, so it's just us.
I'm serious.
Okay.
I was afraid
This
of
is
her.
goat cheese. This is white, fresh goat cheese.
Fresh goat
Are we
cheese.
getting
This
that
is-
on the camera? And what's this one, yellow one in the background?
That's Edam.
All
from-
the same?
It is.
All these three the same?
Right.
gonna
Everything
put it on my plate.
There are two different varieties of cheese. That's good.
So I'm taking a little bit of each.
So the first variety is
Yeah, you can-
the fresh goat, the white colored cheese. The second is the Edam. So we'll talk about the fresh goat for a second. That
I'm going to try
comes
it while you
from-
talk.
Comes from Wisconsin. It's produced by third generation master Wisconsin cheesemakers. I work in tandem with them. They use my recipe. I go out there and we make cheese together, and then they continue to produce for me. And this is
It's fantastic. And
what do
this
you-
is
what do
all Chav Yisrael, right?
you- no, this one
Not
is not.
all of. Was the
No.
first one?
The first one was not either. The next two are.
Quite a lot of your cheeses are Chav Yisrael.
Yes, they are.
Okay, this is absolutely delicious. Should I try
Can
it
I-
with the
can I
wine?
s-
OUD.
Can I make an observation
Sure.
here?
Should we have this? I'm sorry, one more second, Jake. Can I try the wine, the cheese and the wine together?
Absolutely.
Like what? Not in the same mouthful, but
J-
following.
Jay's dying to express himself.
You know what
there.
this reminds me of? One of the most favorite dishes my mommy, Olive Shalom, used to make was sour cream and bananas.
Mhm.
And
Oh my
there is-
God! Really?
So did mine.
Oh, delicious.
And sour
there's
cream
a
and strawberries.
Sweet, sour, Exactly.
Exactly, that
and
I did.
Blueberries. Those three things.
Blueberries and
By the
sour
way,
cream.
you should know that is a lot of my inspiration in
Is it
having
really?
gone into the cheese.
But not sour cream and bananas. I never heard of that one. But we used to do
Absolutely.
sour cream and
Amazing.
strawberries. It's my
Amazing.
husband's favorite.
But the reason I bring that up is because this has a little bit of that wonderful sour flavor
Mm-hmm.
from like that I remember as a child from the sour cream. Am I off base on
No,
that?
absolutely. The sort of, I guess, appropriate cheese terminology would be tangy.
Tangy.
Tangy,
That's right.
yes, very.
Oh, I love it.
That's
But
the
isn't goat
characteristic
cheese
people
quite
attribute
often
to it. Sorry?
Sweet? Isn't it sweet usually, goat cheese?
Um,
Some of your goat cheese are a little sweeter.
okay. They have some sweet qualities to them.
Right.
But
This is
because they are so creamy, they do have that sweetness to them as well. But yeah, sweet and tangy.
Tangy is more
tangy is very
taste.
often what people associate.
I love
and so
that.
the tanginess and the acidity actually go very well together
Perfect.
with the
This
wine
is
and the
this
cheese.
is
yeah.
beautiful.
So let me.
Wow.
And it's got a creaminess that go with this wine too.
It's beautiful. This we're drinking the
White Riesling.
white Riesling.
Baron Herzog White Riesling. It's off dry. It's not quite as sweet as that late harvest Riesling, which a lot of people like, and it should be drunk with this much colder. We didn't get a chance to chill it down as much.
Can I just do a recipe for our segment called What's for Dinner?
Sure.
It's sponsored by our friends at Gourmet Glatt. So out in Cedarhurst, thank you very much for sponsoring our segment when I talk about a recipe. I take a butternut squash, even though it's traditionally a fall vegetable, the butternut squash or a root vegetable, but I peel it up, I cube it, I sprinkle it with kosher salt, olive oil, and a little bit of fresh garlic. I toss it. I put it on a cookie sheet with parchment paper, and it's all mixed up together, all the spices, and then I put it on convection roast for about 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. So it caramelizes the natural sugars in the butternut squash. Absolutely delicious. But then, when it comes out of the oven, while it's still hot, I take fresh goat cheese and I crumble it all over the roasted butternut squash, and I
coming
mix
home
it
with you.
together.
Wow.
It is absolutely delicious. I'm telling you, I made it Monday night for dinner. My kids were killing each other. I had to literally portion on each child's plate, counting out how many butternut squash cubes with goat cheese they got on top of it. They absolutely love it. It's a great milchik dish. You could serve it as an appetizer on a plate. You could plate it up nicely, or you can serve it as a side dish. So it's really an absolutely fabulous
Oh,
dish.
does that sound delicious?
And your goat cheese and the sweetness of the butternut squash and the slightly tangy flavor of the goat cheese is a beautiful marriage of flavors. So yeah, that was our What's for Dinner segment sponsored by Gourmet Glatt. So let's
Tell us
continue.
about yeah.
Very nice. If I can add just
Sure.
another Shavuot-related recipe that I think maybe in Mishpacha magazine this coming month.
Have some
or this
cheese.
coming-
I'm offering Ariella some cheese.
this
Sorry,
coming
Brent.
edition.
Yeah.
No, not at all. So, a very simple blintz. Put the goat cheese into a blintz. After you've cooked it up, after it's been fried and skillet seared,
Yeah.
you take it out. Put fresh figs, sliced fresh figs, or a fig jam, fig preserves. You know, I was in Pomegranate yesterday, and I know that they carry a Bon Mama. I have nothing to do with them, but that's a particular brand that has a fig preserve.
Fig preserve. Okay, we'll see if we can
So
get that.
I think there may even be some Israeli brands that are coming to the country
So
now.
fig-
So fig preserve, just slather it right on top
on a
of the
blintz
blintz.
crepe. On a blintz crepe.
Right.
Then
just on top of it after the blintz has been cooked, after it's been baked, and put it on top. At the end, sprinkle a little bit of sugar, a little maybe baker's sugar, confectionery sugar,
Yeah.
and the
Oh my
fig
God.
jam, and that's it.
I am
You're
so
good to
doing
go.
that. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to put that on my menu. If you've already gone to my website and you've seen the Shavuos menu, I'm totally going to be adding in the goat cheese and fig blintz. That is brilliant.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a terrific combination.
Okay.
Next cheese
What have we got?
is Edam.
Is that what I'm eating now?
Yeah.
We gave
You
some
can
to Ariella. You got to be the
Okay.
intern. You got to try the food.
Ariella, did you try this? Is the Edam? Okay.
Okay. She said
So-
it's delicious. I don't think she's near a microphone.
This Edam comes from Argentina. The next two cheeses I have are Argentine cheeses, and
Okay.
my wife is from Argentina.
Oh, really?
So
That's
yeah,
nice.
we happen
Don't
to
cry
go.
for me, huh?
That's right. That's
Do you-
right. I
does-
won't. We love it down there.
Do your kids speak Spanish?
They do. My
Good for them.
my youngest son does. He
Nicest
speaks
hotel in the
5-year-old
world.
Speaks Hebrew, Spanish, and English. Yeah.
It's in
Wow.
Buenos Aires,
Which hotel is it?
Alvear Palace.
Oh, wait.
And they have there's kosher catering in the hotel. It's owned by the Soton family, I believe. And it's just magnificent. They have roses on your bed. They have personal. I mean, I have to stay there. Yeah, like, right? I have to stay there because they use my wine when I go down there. But if you ever really want to have a wonderful romantic or personal experience, stay at the Alvear, even if it's for one night. Alvear
Okay.
Palace Hotel.
Okay, that sounds good. We talk about
guess-
kosher food traveling, so that's
Right.
what we mean by kosher food traveling.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I think fortunately, I don't have to stay at hotels when I go down there. We're put up by
Your
my
in-laws.
wonderful. That's right.
Oh, nice.
My wife's family. So yeah, we enjoy it.
I heard they have
But
good meat
They do.
down there.
They do. They're major carnivores.
Yeah, okay.
So as is my wife. This cheese, Edam, this and the next cheese both come from the Pampas region, and I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly.
I'm the
but,
wrong person. I've
and
got
I'll
the
hear about it
worst.
when I go home. but it's the region in north central Argentina that also borders Uruguay. It's a large area of flat, green flatlands, and it's terrific for grazing, year-round grazing. They have a lot of green grass, so you'll notice the flavor and the color, as we were talking about before, are a little bit darker because the cows, the Holsteins, are grazing year-round, so they're getting a lot of that beta carotene in the milk, and thus the cheese. So this cheese, if you could see, it's a little bit stronger, a little bit more pungent.
That
right?
was this cheese,
The
right?
Edam, right?
The Edam.
Yeah.
It's Edam is actually a Dutch style cheese. It's Edam originated in Holland, but it's not a protected name, as they
Right.
say. So you can call
Like
it,
champagne.
right. So
Yeah.
they call Edam. This same variety can be made in different places. So this Edam cheese is made in Argentina. I imported it a few months ago. It's probably at a good point right now. It's about 4 or 5 months old. It's a nice, as you can see, a creamy, good melting cheese. Great
like
for anything.
grilled cheese on toast, or
Absolutely, grilled cheese sandwiches, perfect.
it's great summer over some freshly made pasta dish or something.
Yep. Anything you can think of melting cheese on. This is quesadillas.
Quesadillas! I love
Yeah,
quesadillas.
absolute mac and cheese. This would be a great mac and cheese cheese.
Okay, so what was the
all right.
name of that? That was the
This is
Edam.
Edam. It's similar to Gouda, which people are more familiar with.
Yeah.
Those two varieties, nice, creamy. They can also be aged and become sharper and stronger tasting, saltier. But this is the young, good, mild version. So so that's number 3. Number 4, the other Argentine cheese here.
Okay, what have we got here? Okay.
This is more of an aged variety, and this is a Parmesan style cheese.
Okay, but it's one of those 5 or 6 hour
It
cheeses.
is. That
Okay,
it-
so
that it
is
is.
that the only one? I'm actually
You're gonna pass on this one.
No,
to
I'm
be
gonna.
able to.
No. I'm definitely gonna. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I think I'll be okay. Quite often we have a
but
little
it's
Erev
like
Shabbos
the song,
snack.
5 o'clock somewhere. No.
Yeah, that's what we always say, don't we,
Right.
Jay? Somewhere in the world it's Shabbos, so we can start drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
Okay, great. I love Parmesan cheese.
So this cheese
Is this Chalvisra?
It is.
Okay, that's
As-
great.
as
'cause
was the
not
Edam.
not easy to come by. 10 years ago, Chalav Yisrael grated. Blocks of the wedges of
Right.
Parmesan cheese.
Oh, you know what?
Very new.
I'm sorry. Before.
Yeah.
Okay. You're biting into it.
No,
already.
no,
What
I'm
I was-
stopping.
What I was going to say. Can I pass around a couple of the dishes that I worked the Edam into
Okay.
with my
Before-
good friend? I would like to credit Tamar Genger of
Yay.
Joy of Kosher.
Yay, Tamar. We love you, Tamar.
Yeah, she really.
You get a big shout out from us.
She helped me make these wonderful dishes. The first one using the Edam is let's see, we're gonna do a corn Edam cheese stick.
Oh, yummy!
So yeah,
You had me at let's eat cheese.
These are pretty simple recipes.
Okay. You gonna
Prep
try
ti-
some, CK?
prep-
No,
prep time,
no.
Prep time is 10 minutes.
I know.
Cooking time 40 minutes.
Okay.
Basically, you're using cornmeal.
What? Okay. What?
You're
bra-
mixing.
Shahakol.
Shahakol.
Shahakol. Okay.
Yeah.
I would think.
So we said shahakol already. Okay.
Cornmeal?
Oh no, yeah, okay.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Keep going. I'm sorry. This is delicious.
This is so strong. This one.
It's good?
That one's strong.
Okay. Ariella, talk into the microphone. Have you got one there?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't know what it's called. What's this cheese called?
The
Right
one,
into
the
the
one that I
microphone.
just passed around.
Yeah.
That's the Parmesan that we're gonna.
The Parmesan is really strong.
We haven't had that one yet, but it's good, right? Okay, we're getting the nod. Okay, this is delicious.
So
Tamar, this is great. And
yeah,
where can we
so
get
this,
the recipe?
This made with Edam. Would you like to post it to your website?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, it's very there's made with defrosted frozen spinach, my Edam cheese, cornmeal, salt, and water, and that's it.
Fantastic. So can
It's
I get
very
that
simple.
recipe from you? Or email it to me, and
Absolutely.
And Tamar wrote it, so we'll give Tamar the credit. I'll just either put her link
100%.
up or put
And
it
for
up on
those
my
that
website.
can't see it on radio, this is it looks like a sort of a chunky cheese stick, something that kids might be able to
It's delicious.
sort of you might be able to sneak your spinach in that way to your kids.
My husband is
Right?
very sad that he's missing out on this because this is like right up his alley. This is great. All
Okay,
right. So
good.
what have you got
So-
next?
and then you know what? I have another Edam recipe, but we'll do that in just a couple of. Should we go with another cheese? We'll work in, or would you like to try?
I
Jay,
wanna-
Jay,
I
yeah,
just-
yeah. Please.
You know,
Let's talk about the
I
wine.
chose this wine, but I have to tell you, after eating the food, I think it goes good with the cheese. But after eating the food, I think this dish requires a drier wine.
Okay, is that why you poured this one?
I think they go
No.
terrific together.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one? This? What am I
But-
drinking here? Let's.
but what would you-
is that,
You're
is
drinking. It's brand new. It's a pink Moscato, a Jeunesse pink Moscato.
that- okay, I'm going to try with the cheese dish and corn and spinach. I'm now
Yeah.
going to try it.
It grows on you, but I'd like it a little bit more chilled and a little bit drier. think,
I can
with
see
this
why
dish.
you're saying that. This could be the wine could be a drop drier for this.
for the food, but the cheese
The
is
cheese is
strong enough and tangy enough that the sweetness of the wine, excuse my,
yeah. It's okay.
mouth.
It's hard. It's okay.
stands up to it. I think I'm gonna let that fall.
No, we
I'm
can't.
gonna
No, we got to
I'm
keep
gonna
it
eat
cool.
every good morsel.
We got to keep the office clean. Okay, so but I love this Moscato. This is great.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Okay, I'm
Thank
just
you.
keeping an eye on the time, guys, because we want to get it all in. Okay,
How much we
what's
got left? How much time?
about
we-
20? Okay.
I think we're
Brent?
doing well on time
Great.
here. We've got just 2 more cheeses and a couple of pairings here.
Okay,
So-
fabulous.
So this next cheese is also, like I said, from Argentina. It's a Reginito Parmesan.
Say that again. I like how you say it.
Reginito Parmesan.
There you go.
By the way, and you know, I always preface my my statements on halachic issues with "ask your local rabbi" and "don't trust me at all." But from what I understand, one of the reasons why often imported cheese almost always is chalav Yisrael is because I don't want to call it the heter, but the idea of non-chalav Yisrael was established only in America originally. And so it's not as well accepted amongst the strictly observant communities outside of America, the idea of non-chalav Yisrael. Not as well accepted. America, it's much more accepted. And so the lowest common denominator, I should say the highest common denominator, for kosher cheese that's produced elsewhere, meaning outside of the United States, is chalav Yisrael as a general rule.
Very interesting. That's
But ask your local rabbi.
And especially you want to just talk about
all-
both of you, one of you, talk about the cheese, the waiting time on the cheese.
right. Well, this is a serious hard cheese. It's aged a year, which means generally the general rule of thumb is 6 months. Essentially characterizes it as an aged cheese, which means that those of us that keep it wait 6 hours.
Okay, or whatever you wait between meat and milk. So if you wait
Right.
3 hours between fleischiks and milchiks, then you wait 3 hours. I wait 5 hours and a minute, so I'm waiting 5 hours and a minute. So when I go home, it's really always have Abel's and Hyman salami when we get home before Shabbos.
Is
It's like
there-
a thing. So
Brent,
now I have to wait 5 hours and
You
a
know,
minute.
the reason I mentioned that 6 hours is all. You're absolutely right. Whatever your tradition is, that your minhag, but the rabbis would like for me to refer to it, especially when we're out doing demos. This is a 6-hour cheese, just to.
As a
Cover everyone.
Right.
I'm okay with, however long you wait, that's fine. But I'm wondering if there is a standard, and because I used to be in the cheese business, I don't know if you remember, I told you this many years ago, but I'm wondering if there's a standard for the amount of time that a cheese needs to be aged. In other words, does everybody agree it's 6 months? Does everybody agree it's 9 months? Does everybody agree it's a year? Or is it or does it vary? Or is it depending on the cheese maker that tells you which is a hard cheese?
Good question.
Is there really a standardized time?
That's the standard that I generally go with. There's a pretty stark difference between an aged and a non-aged
Yeah,
cheese.
but is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? I mean, is there
Probably like wine.
Halakhically, because I was told this is many years ago, that it's actually very rare to find a hard cheese that you should wait for. That's what I was told 100 years ago. Now that may have changed. I don't know.
I will defer to Rabbi Gordimer of the OU and,
Okay,
and others
you know what?
that I consult
We should
with on-
actually next
I
time we
wanna
do
find
this,
that out.
let's have Rabbi Elephant down here. He was with us when we did our OU show and we discussed quinoa, right? I think you were you had popped by.
Yeah.
We'll maybe refer to them and get his
I think it's
psak
important
halacha
that-
just from the OU. Everyone has their own rabbi and they will
sure.
ask their own rabbis. But let's try this Parmesan.
So this Parmesan, though, just to summarize on that, this is definitely considered a hard cheese. It's not in that gray area.
Okay, so
that,
I'm marking time now, 20 past 9.
This is
Okay.
aged a year, as you can even smell it.
Should I-
Before
Oh my God, it's so
See,
strong,
it
right,
ha-
Ariella? It's really
it's a stronger-
strong.
it's a
Okay.
stronger cheese. It has that Parmesan character.
Oh my God, it smells
Parmesan.
so strong. Very, very strong. Okay. Okay. Can I try? I'm going to try some and then I'm going to wash it down with some red
I
wine.
had that question with cheddar. Some cheddars are
Right, that's-
age-worthy, some aren't.
Absolutely, that's
Mm.
a-
I mean,
that's-
halakhically speaking, so that's where I was. So I just wanted to.
Absolutely.
I think it's important. Any rabbis listening to me out there, that we really do get some kind of standardized.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
Oh my gosh! smell
Amazing. Now I want to smell with the wine. Okay. All right. What are we drinking,
that.
Jay?
We're drinking Jeunesse Cabernet, much richer,
Ah.
much thicker.
This is amazing. I love this Cabernet. Okay, I'm writing notes
sorry.
myself.
Let me just-
Jeunesse. It's so funny that I'm writing notes. Jeunesse Cabernet. I just probably watched my show again.
Oh, is that nice?
And then
Cab
the
Sav.
richness, but also it's got a kick of tang. The acidity in the wine, this Jeunesse Cabernet with this. This is a perfect, to me, this is a really great pairing.
It
This
is.
is a great marriage. Wow.
It is. Is it? Would you say does this have a lot of tannins in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Has, not a lot, but it
No,
has
I didn't.
some nice tannins too. Yes.
But not
Okay.
so. It's not so. It doesn't have a lot of the acid and grit that a lot of red wines do.
But the harder
a
cheeses.
lot more
har-
tannin than the previous 3 wines that we tasted.
Correct.
These
correct.
harder cheeses definitely stand up to
This is amazing.
the wines with that are more tannic.
This reminds me a little bit of
You know-
the Benjamina Zmora, a little bit.
Here you go.
A little drier, but very nice. Wow. Okay. All right.
Oh, I don't want to say anything.
Okay, so what have we got next up? Are we doing another
And-
cheese?
And again, that cheese. Now, well, this. Let me just mention a couple other quick things about this Reginito. Its origins. If in Spanish or Latin you put the ito, the suffix onto the word, it means something, the small whatever, right? If you've ever heard somebody called Juan, for example, Juanito,
Yeah.
means the
Little one.
the little one, usually junior or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So this cheese Reginito, some of you may have heard of Reggiano.
Yes,
So that's-
Parmesan.
that's the
Parmigiano Reggiano. Those
Yeah,
are
I
the
see-
big wheels that they
that
call.
you imagine Parmesan to look like.
Right.
It's very hard, and that's only for grading, or almost always only for grading.
Right.
At least that's how I recall it.
They age it. It must be aged 2 years. It comes from the Parma region of Italy. That is a protected name. Anything Reggiano has to have all those characteristics. So anyway, there were Italian immigrants that moved to Argentina and started producing this Parmesan style cheese, and they called it Reginito. So the small Reggiano. So that's the origin
Nice.
of this cheese. It's supposed to be similar. It's there are some similarities real cheese, especially Italians, would tell you no, it's not even close.
No way.
To the original Reggiano. But anyway, that's the origin of
It's
this
fabulous.
Reggianito.
But can I just interrupt, because I know I'm loving these cheeses, and I know I can buy them in Gourmet Glad Emporium in Cedarhurst, which has a very large selection of your cheeses.
They do.
By the way, I just got to give the Bastarda Grappa big shout out, because my family's obsessed with that cheese. It's nice and strong, and we love it.
That cheese, it's a very interesting. It has almost like a cult following.
It does.
It's very funny.
I know when
People
they put
who
it.
love it. Just
Mason and Mag had a whole thing, and they wrote, the Bastardo is here when they brought it into the restaurant. It's fabulous, and my family loves it. And we ate a lot of it on Pesach.
that.
So-
By the way, that tells me and everybody else something about your family. The taste. That's a very sophisticated palate, even amongst your.
My
your
6-year-old loved
children,
it. 6-year-old
because
loved it.
It's
So
a very, very complex cheese.
yeah. So okay.
Was
so
he drunk at the time?
no one was drunk. We were actually driving to Pesach in Lake George. We
Kidding.
needed a nash on the car, so I took some Bastarda de Grappa with us that I had bought at Gourmet Glad that morning. Yeah. So okay.
So this is
what are we eating now?
This is another recipe to go along with the Reggianito.
Is that asparagus I
It
spy?
is. It is. It's
Obsessed with
shaved
asparagus.
raw asparagus
Raw asparagus?
with Parmesan, with my Reggianito shaved Parmesan.
Simi Nachman, my darling daughter, we are both obsessed with asparagus. You will be very sorry that you're not with us.
And this is again very, very simple. Did you get some of the asparagus with the cheese?
Do you want to try some asparagus? I'm offering ZK some asparagus.
And again, with this great the wine with it, especially if it would be a
Okay,
little bit more
what are we
chilled.
drinking with this?
We're drinking the same.
Okay.
Drinking the Jeunesse Cabernet.
I never knew you could eat raw asparagus.
Isn't that incredible? And all you do is you peel the asparagus, shave the Parmesan, add lemon juice, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and drizzle it all over it and let it sit, and that's it.
It's amazing. It's soft. I always
You'd
thought of
expect that,
asparagus being
right.
very hard,
And
right?
crunchy and hard. And
Yeah,
the way
I
you did
love
that was great.
asparagus.
Yeah.
It maybe is softened up by a little bit of the olive oil, the salt. I don't know. But
Yeah,
it's
the
just
salt
great.
probably cooks it, and the olive oil, they give it like a broth.
Yeah, no,
almost.
just sort of marinating in the
I'm gonna try that
the
with
oil
the-
and lemon juice.
with the-
It does. It softens it
That's
up.
what I should be eating it with?
absolutely.
Okay, I'm just taking a
We
little bit
pass
of...
some of the asparagus down to Ariel here.
Okay, yeah, coming back. I'm short-stopping it, okay?
Yeah.
I hope no one's got a cold. We're all sharing the same stuff here. Okay, and I see a little bit of red pepper flakes.
Okay. Yeah.
that-
Uh,
Was that from the cheese or from the dressing, probably?
no, that's the that's the pepper.
It's
the pepper.
so delicious.
Okay.
I'm going to
No
hold that up.
double dipping.
We have so double dipped. We've quadruple dipped
I
in
know,
this.
it's
So I just
great.
want to. I'm holding up to the people that are viewing this the very thinly shaved asparagus, and then of course I've already eaten off the Parmesan cheese off it. I'm just absolutely fabulous. Okay, let's go. Last 10 minutes.
And I think were you going to mention other places that people might be able
so
to
that's
purchase?
where we were going. It's Gourmet Glad in Cedarhurst. Where else can we buy this cheese or your wonderful selection if you're listening around the country?
Fortunately, it's in a lot of kosher stores, places like Pomegranate, Glad Express, Cedar Market in Teaneck. So all over Benzies in Brooklyn.
If you're in Connecticut or if you're a little bit
Aaron's-
out of town.
Aaron's.
I've got listeners in South Carolina. I've got listeners in Virginia. Shout out to all of you guys.
Florida, a couple of markets in Florida, Maryland, Silver Spring and Bethesda. And
Anywhere in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, the Spicy Peach down in Atlanta carries it.
Is there a way to get it online?
And yes,
Great question.
yeah, Grow and Behold
Yeah.
sells my products online.
Growandbehold.com. Yep.
Yep. As does Zabar's.
Really?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Zabar's sells a lot of my cheese online. So, and to mention a lot of the, the not exclusively kosher specialty stores, Zabar's, Fairway, all the Fairway markets, they now have 14 stores.
They're up to 14
Yeah,
stores.
they all carry my. So
Remember when they had
so
two?
Right. Anywhere in the tri-state area, you can find a Fairway and you can find my cheese. The West Side markets now, Morton Williams, about a dozen supermarkets,
Wow.
and we just got into a few of the ShopRite stores in
Kosher sections.
Neptune and East Brunswick and Paramus. So there really are plenty of places and growing that you can purchase my cheese. And if I'll just mention one other thing, two of the things that I love to do is participate in farmers markets.
Yeah.
We have two of them going on Sundays right now. One in Riverdale, and one in Astoria, Queens.
Nice.
That yeah, I'm out there, and a lot of the reasons for some of these cheeses are because of the feedback. You know, I hear from especially kosher consumers, but people across the board. In fact, I think that probably more than 50% of the consumers that are buying my cheese right now are not kosher consumers.
That's
But-
fantastic. You
but-
know you've made it when your numbers are like that.
But the kosher consumers come to me all the time and they say, you know, when can we get a good and then fill in the blank, and the next cheese is going to be that fill in the blank.
There you go. You're listening to the customers.
I want to taste the brie.
Okay, let's go. Brie time. No more talk
right.
about
I
where
want
we can
that
buy it.
brie.
You know where to buy it.
While I'm slicing this up, Jay, any thoughts on how to pair
Which
wine and brie?
wine
Oh
and brie?
yeah. Well, brie is generally a very fatty, and correct me if I'm wrong anytime on this. Very fatty, very rich, very creamy.
Okay, let me hold it up to the for the people that are watching. Wow.
Very fatty, very creamy, very rich, and I don't want to say heavy because that's not really what it kind of gets me to think about. But it is very rich, very thick, very creamy, and what a lot of people don't get, especially new brie eaters, and again, correct me if I'm wrong about this, is that they actually scoop it out without including the rind. And the rind, the cover of it, so to speak, has a bitterness to it that is perfect. It actually kicks it up to a next level, kind of, if you will.
Okay, great.
That's the
And-
most common question. You're absolutely right. The rind is very much edible. It's a natural edible rind. It's what's called a soft ripened or a bloomy rind cheese. This particular one, this is it's called Chaors, which I've named after. It's a small town. You don't have any sparkling whites here,
No.
do you? Okay,
Is that what's
right.
good with it?
Yeah, I mean, but any
So-
type of
So a brie goes well with
with a
sparkling white.
Yeah, like a champagne, anything like a champagne or a and it's like some of the other softer cheeses we had in the beginning, something like a Chardonnay or any of the.
Well,
Okay.
we're gonna have
We're running out of time, guys. We've got
we're gonna
about
have
6
this,
minutes.
We're gonna have this with the Russian River Chardonnay.
We could do 3 hours. Table for two. Super size show.
Russian River Chardonnay.
Okay, Russian River. Have you brought this in before? And it's reserve. I see
I
it says
have.
special reserve. So we're going to have this with the brie. Is brie very similar to camembert?
It is. It
Okay,
is
because
brie.
you see that a lot, like a baked brie. You wrap a brie or a camembert in puff pastry and you bake it. The whole thing melts together. Great Shavuos
They're all
recipe.
French.
What I love about it, I'm glad I picked the Chardonnay to bring today because just smelling it, just put your nose into this Chardonnay, and you can almost smell like a creaminess,
I know. Best
yeah.
to,
like a
best to smell
vanilla,
it.
buttery creaminess to it that that hopefully will come.
We need to drink out of
really.
glasses, real
yeah,
glasses.
we really do next time.
Next time. We got to bring some from the wine show. We'll keep a stack in the office. Okay, this smells great. And now
So
I
again,
see
this
Brent is cutting up some brie for us.
yeah, it's a
We're
it's a
okay?
brie style cheese. This is made up in Vermont, and
Oh, this is a local cheese,
it is,
meaning
absolutely.
American, as opposed to it being
and
imported
and
from.
it's local to New York because it's less than 200 miles to the location where.
Okay.
And we were
we're
talking
producing.
about the idea that brie can also be made from goats, right? And
That's right.
from
Yeah, this is a cow milk, and if you can see the brie ripens from the outside in, so it begins to get creamier, and so again, this is a.
Okay, I'm going to hold this up to the camera.
this is
You
a-
take your
I'm
piece.
taking
Jay.
one first.
Okay. Okay, so we've got, you see the,
You know,
the
if
crust
there was a
on the
Hatova
outside.
Hamativ for cheese, boy, this would deserve it.
That would only come from you. Either one of you. Okay, I'm going to take my cheese. I'm going to pass
so
that
again,
back.
now this,
Give some to Ariella.
as
okay.
I mentioned, this is a brie style cheese, and we call it Chaors, which is named after a small town in the Champagne region of France. And as Jay mentioned, absolutely indulge in the rind because the rind is it's got that
I used to-
earthy, mushroomy sort of flavor to it that you'll be missing out on at least half the experience if you don't.
And again,
Indulge
correct
it.
me if I'm wrong. I did this right with the rind. So I used to be in the cheese business a million years ago. But you can also eat this cheese a little bit warm.
Yeah, they bake it.
Right?
Yeah,
You can go onto Google and look up for baked brie or baked camembert. Basically, you wrap it up in puff pastry. I think Susie Fishbein has in one of her cookbooks, maybe even the first one, that she did kosher palette, a baked brie or a baked camembert, which is perfect for shufflewat. And what about this with red jam or a red vinaigrette, like a raspberry vinaigrette?
Or how about an apricot vinegar? An apricot jam.
Oh,
that we
yeah, you
forgot
have.
to pass around. Sure, absolutely.
Okay, let's.
I don't know how we
I'm going to
scoop
try
more
that.
we need some more brie.
Okay, we've got lots
brie
of brie.
coming
That
up.
was
But
also,
what do you think about the wine? Did you taste the wine?
The
So
wine.
now
it's
what
a,
we're
it's
gonna
a,
do
it's a
this.
wonderful pairing. It's a
Oh my
wonderful
gosh!
pairing.
This really, I
Here,
think,
Jay,
was the
why don't
best.
you dip some brie? So we're dipping brie into apricot jam. I'm even writing notes to myself. Brie and apricot jam. See? We
And,
can.
If
all
I
right.
could,
I'm going to try this together. So that's what it. That's
Naomi,
what
if
I'm
I
doing.
could mention that this cheese is now actually formally in the market, although it's only in a handful of places at this point. But I'm going to have a formal launch. Do you mind if I mention it here on the air?
Please,
Okay,
please.
it's on June 12th at the Nachmius Distillery.
I'm
There-
coming.
I'm in Yonkers. I have my cheese cellar, my cheese cave in the basement, of my home, and in Yonkers. And then neighbors of mine in an old warehouse district put up a boutique distillery where they make like a fig brandy and now a whiskey. So anyway, June 12th, we're going to be getting together local neighbors in the kosher boutique food world and doing a formal launch on my brie.
Okay, I'm coming to that.
Or chaors, as we call
So
it.
is
What-
it open
what
to
is
the
the-
public? Is it open? I'm sorry, Jay. Is it
okay,
open to the public?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we can
I
get
have
more information by going on to
my website
The
or my
Cheese Guy.
or my Facebook page.
thecheeseguy.com. or-
TheCheeseGuy.com or Brent the Cheese Guy on Facebook.
Okay, there
Tell
you
us
go.
about that food that you've got sitting there that you're
we've
holding
got
from
guys,
us.
we've got 1.5 minutes.
Okay. All right.
This
Here
is the cheeses and the wines have been absolutely magnificent, and our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman Meats. We taste better, and we love all the different selections of the meats that they have, especially for barbecuing. So you can check out my latest post for Abels and Hyman on my website, theaussiegourmet.com. I did a Hasselbeck salami, but we're in the middle or winding down from a great cheese show. We've had Brent Delman and we've had Jay Buchsbaum here, and we're just going to wrap up with our last minute.
Two
Why
quick
don't you
wines
guys-
that
yeah.
we have not tasted,
You must.
and we won't, is the Pinot Noir from Barcan. It's a dry red wine, but it's light and can be served slightly chilled. And a brand new wine from Carmel called Selected Cabernet.
Pass them up. I'll hold them up to the camera.
Okay. Selected Cabernet, which also is a red wine, dry. Whoa! But I think
not
light
gonna
enough
fix
and perfect for, or can be drunk with lighter fare and even cheese and milchig fare.
This is absolutely delicious. What are we eating here?
So, our last prepared dish is
Got, like,
spaghetti squash Edam bites. So again, using the Edam, using obviously spaghetti squash, panko or whole wheat breadcrumbs, garlic, fresh parsley, frozen spinach. Again, salt, and you basically put it into a muffin tray.
It's so
form them and
Eat 'em.
and take them out in the size of muffins, healthy and
delicious.
tasty, right?
This has been an absolutely fantastic show. I can't thank you both enough. We probably could go here for about 3 hours, the three of us just eating and drinking away. Thank you to Tamar Genga for providing this delicious food, joyofkosher.com. Brent Delman, thecheeseguy.com.
Thank you for bringing me these cookies. They're so delicious from down under.
Thank you, Jay Buchsbaum, Marketing Director of
Thanks, Naomi. It's been great.
Royal Wines. We're going to continue our little party here, but you can stay listening on the Nachum Siegel website to our music sponsored by Kedem right up until Lichtbenching. Want to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom and take care. Bye. See you next week.